Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I'm going to be making a Prismarine shop after the Guardian farm that we made last episode. Um, I collected up the materials, so I've done some mining and some gathering of blocks, and we're going to build it here on the Mushroom Island. So we're on the cat-shaped Mushroom Island, which is just above Craftville and just under where our iron farm is. And yeah, I mean, I'm planning on doing the redstone as well for my autocrafters this episode. And so that will be a very big project. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is all the materials that I think I'll need, including the stuff in my inventory. It's a lot, and it'll take me a while to build it, but I'm planning on going for like a gradient kind of build. And then my idea is to fill it with water and then have a conduit underneath. I mean, I'll show this to you later, but it's a yeah, a pretty cool idea in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes. Also, the reason why I want to actually make an autocrafter is because when I was gathering all these blocks, I had to obviously not automatically, I had to craft them myself. And that was a real pain in the backside. Because being up there in the Guardian farm, you know, you have all the items just flooding into your inventory. You have the wrong items, and it's just not ideal, you know. And so I want a system that can auto sort and craft, you know, all the various types of blocks. Now I also have plans of making a squid farm for ink sacs. These are just ones that I collected naturally, but I'm planning on making a squid farm that will get me some ink sacs, so I don't actually have to manually go out and get ink. That would be for the dark prismarine. But we'll get to that later. I think maybe next episode. But I guess it's time to build. So I actually had a lot of fun while making this build. I wanted it to be Guardian themed, obviously, because it's a Prismarine shop. But I didn't want it to be, you know, a typical Guardian shape. I wanted to have the Guardian idea, but, you know, still have my own artistic flair added to that. So my entire concept for this was a Guardian that was sort of caged. And so I ended up filling the entire thing in water. Like I said, I was going to add a conduit. And for this, I used the basic kelp and water trick to fill the entire thing with water. I ended up getting the conduit later, and so I added that underneath the build so it's not obtruding. But yeah, so like I was saying, so the entire idea for the build was a guardian that was kind of, you know, caged as it looks. And so I added the kind of spikes that they have, and added a little tail in the back. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making it. It was definitely a challenge getting all the materials for the gradient on the side, but I think it actually turned out quite nice. And there we go. We have the Cage Guardian, my Prismarine shop. Yeah, we finished. All right, I'm actually really liking this build. It's not true to the actual Guardian itself, with the spikes especially, but I do actually really like it. So I was working on the inside a little bit, and I'm planning to have an ender chest here, and I didn't like the fact that there was no symmetry. Obviously, it's a two by two build. So I wanted to have like a barrel here where you could pay, and maybe add some like automatic sorter for the diamonds, so that, you know, if you put something else in on accident, it doesn't actually steal your stuff. That'd be nice. That'd be cool. So I've been stalking the shop a little bit, and I'm really feeling the the lack of shulker boxes right now. But you know, we'll work on that. But for now, I'm just constantly going back and forth from the Guardian farm, you know, crafting this stuff. So I think the plan now is to work on actually redstoneifying the Guardian farm, because that will definitely speed up this entire process. You know, automatically crafting all the blocks for us and sorting it. So all we really have to do is transport it at the moment. So that would be very nice. So, Editor Shroom here. I would just like to start by apologizing for the jittery kind of replay shots. It's my, one of my first times using the mod itself, and so I'm still learning how to do the keyframe editing. So I think I figured it out now that I started recording the next video already, and yeah, so I managed to smooth out all the long distance shots while building, and yeah, I mean, I would look forward to it if I were you. So with this build, I had some issues, obviously. The biggest one was definitely falling. I was constantly falling when building this, which was such a pain because scaffolding is not the fastest thing in the world. But I mean, I managed. I got all 4 sides ready and done, and they all seem to be working, at least while testing it. And yeah, we'll cut to when it actually finished right now. Here we are on top of our beautiful creation. So what are we looking at? Well, let me show you. So we have the enchantment area. This is all the same. The guardians. But what I've done is I've implemented or I've added a dropper system that basically drops all the items that we collect from the guardians into 4 different sections. And so these sections are all they're all like mirror images of themselves. And so what they do is they go into this filter system that sorts the items in between the each of the drops. So I have it laid out in this sort of layout with fish at the end. But yeah, basically, the first 2 rows go into, no, the first 3 rows go into this dropper down here. And then the second last 2 rows, which are for the crystals, they go down into this dropper down there. The first 1 or 2, depending on the side, first 1 or 2 droppers go into these 2 crafters, which craft the Prismarine blocks and the Prismarine bricks. Those are those 2. So 2 sides. And then this massive chunk back here, this is the Prismarine Autocrafter that I showed in the last video. So basically, what it does is when you craft Prismarine, there's a certain sequence of items that need to go into the crafter. So when you're looking at the crafting recipe, it goes Prismarine shard, then crystal, then shard, and then these 3, and then the same sequence. So what this machine does is it basically does the first sequence here, and then it does 3 ticks of crystals, and then it repeats that same sequence. You can see that here. So the middle bit here, this entire long section, it does the 3 crystals in a row, and then this module here, it does the 2 ticks of the shards. Yeah, so it goes shard, crystal, shard, the 3, and then shard, crystal, shard again, and it automatically crafts them. So the reason I have them split into different sides is because of the amount of items that comes out, and the reason that these 2 sides have 1 less of the small autocrafter modules is that the front side actually gets less items than the back. When you actually kill the drowned, you can tell that less items are being produced there. And that's just the way the system's set up. I mean, it doesn't make much of a difference, but it means we can focus on Prismarine brick crafting in the back, where we have 2. And then just the regular Prismarine gets crafted, yeah, in other parts. But yeah, so everything's getting dispensed, getting sorted. If there's ever any excess, like extra fish or whatever, it gets dumped into the cactus. And yeah, so basically this allows me to to be lazy. It does actually produce quite a lot of blocks quite quickly, which is really nice. Like, we just turned it on. This was already backed up, but like it produces significantly faster if I'm just sitting here AFK than actually manually having to do it. And obviously, with relation to getting drops, while other people are sitting here, you know, getting XP, whatever, this thing actually still produces drops, which is really nice. So I mean, this lever, I'll be the only one turning that on, just for chunk loading reasons. If you were to leave the chunk while this farm is active, or at least while the crafters are active, it could break it, which is unfortunate. So I might have to add a chunk loader in here at some point. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it works flawlessly. I have noticed one thing that is an issue, just because of where the farm is set up. The Prismarine Autocrafters, they are split in between 2 chunks, which does cause some issues. It causes the entire system to be kind of mistimed, and so you do have certain times where you have to actually go in and empty out the crafter, which is really unfortunate. But unfortunately, with how the actual Prismarine farm is set up, I don't really have an option to change that very much. But overall, as long as I'm in the area, it doesn't do that, so that's nice. I have noticed another issue, and that's that when another player is in the nether, and they're not within a close vicinity to the portal, then the guardians just don't come through. And that's because of a really strange mechanic that basically when the guardians go through this portal and they get spat out in the nether, if someone's in the nether and they're not in a close enough area to this portal, then the guardians despawn. And that's just because of how entities work in the game when going through portals. You know, the game checks if they're close to anyone, and if they're not, they despawn, which is really unfortunate for the farm. But I mean, I guess it's a limitation I'll have to work around. I mean, at the moment there's two other people online. I don't think, yeah, neither of them are in the nether at the moment. And I mean, that's usually how it goes. But yeah, slight hiccup, but overall this thing will speed up my restocking of the farm, of the shop quite a lot, which is really nice. Okay, so in relation to the build, obviously it's huge, it's very big, and so what I want to do is kind of make it less of an eyesore for the other crafters on the server. And my idea, or at least what I'm envisioning, is like a giant statue coming out of the ocean, that's like kind of holding up the actual farm itself, or at least the crafter area. Or maybe it's like this, the farm is like forcing itself down onto the statue. I think that could be really cool. So I'm gonna start gathering resources for that, and I think I'll start building it at least by the end of this week. But yeah, it should be really cool, and I'm looking forward to it, actually. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It was a lot of fun making this. I'm glad to get back into redstone a little bit, and yeah, thank you for watching.